In this video, I want to talk about glymphatics. Maybe the name is familiar to you, maybe you've heard it for the first time now, maybe it just sounds familiar because it's similar to lymphatics with just a G in the beginning of the word, and I can say that they are kind of similar thing, just glymphatics is the lymphatic system of our brain. The name is coming from glial cells, which are a type of cells in our brain which are not neurons, so they do not have electrical activity, so to say, and there are many kinds of glial cells. And interesting thing about it is that it was really discovered just recently, like 15 years ago. Scientists have discovered that there exists something like lymphatic system of our brain. Why was it discovered only now? One of the reasons, it's really small and it's hard to see it on an MRI, but also it's active, it's kind of only active while people are asleep. And one more thing, when person dies, maybe if you would want to search for something like that in a cadaver science, it doesn't show then also. So it's only active, you could say, while people are asleep. That's a specific and very intricate thing about it, and the reason why I want to speak about it, because it really feeds into this whole information which I'm giving you in this course in terms of how to clear the wastes out of your system, because the glymphatic system is the thing that's flushing out the waste from your brain while you sleep. What are glymphatics and how do they do their job? You have probably heard about cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, which is kind of the fluid which surrounds our whole brain, all and every structure which you have in your central nervous system. It is a transparent fluid, but how I poetically like to think about that fluid is silver unicorn blood hugging our brain and whole central nervous system and kind of helping it to thrive, give it nutrients, and also flush the things out. That fluid is something that's produced in the ventricles of human brain out of our arterial blood. You could say that it's kind of filtered blood produced to become something special which our brain needs. After it's produced in our brain, it travels to the channels which are accessible to it, so through our whole spinal canal and also around our whole brain. And that was already known for many decades already. But what was discovered recently was that in the blood vessels, which from the outer layers of our brain go directly in to the matter itself, there is sort of another channel. So if this is the blood vessel, then you have another channel going around the blood vessel like this. And that's what the glial cells create around the vessel, special type of glial cells called astrocytes. And essentially in that channel, which is around the artery and the vein, the cerebrospinal fluid is also flowing directly into the brain itself. And what's very specific about it and what's called glymphatics is the moment which happens while we sleep, and that's on this outer lining, we could say, on the astrocyte itself, there are small openings which open while you sleep, and then they let the cerebrospinal fluid go into the interstitial space of the brain itself, into the space where all the neurons are, and then that cerebrospinal fluid, which moves by the pure pressure system of our blood, kind of goes around all those neurons, picks up all the garbage and the waste which is there, and puts it on the other side of the blood vessel system of the venous system, and kind of brings it in there, and then from the veins it goes down to our lymph system again, namely the neck lymph system. Why does it happen only while you sleep? When you sleep, you are more in a parasympathetic state of being, and it helps for the neuronal activity to calm down, and all the neurons kind of shrink and create more space between them, and also those channels open. It could be that they open also because of less sympathetic activity, less norepinephrine drive, so everything can kind of open up. It's not tough and locked, but things can flow more easily. But on the other hand, neurons kind of shut off and let the waste system do its job. I think just with all this information, you kind of get the idea of why sleep is so important. And when I first learned about this, it's just opened my mind to the final confirmation of why sleep is so important. If you do not get enough sleep, and that's deep sleep, You cannot get your brain to flush out all the waste products that the neurons have from their activity during the day. That's something that they see is the main problem in Alzheimer, for example, because Alzheimer brain is the one which cannot get rid of the waste materials that neurons produce. So your glymphatics and your waste removal system from your brain must work well for your brain to stay healthy, which is kind of logical, I would say. But now we know that the sleep is probably the most important thing for that. You maybe know the feeling when you feel so sleepy that you kind of cannot hold your head up straight anymore. You feel that your eyes want to shut down and that you just want to fall on the side. I do have a feeling that that's the action of your cerebrospinal fluid kind of telling you that you need to lay down and be in horizontal position, because that's when the brain can clear itself, and also when you sleep in that position. And you know that it's harder to sleep in a upright or sitting position in a plane or while you're traveling. Essentially, it's like to get a good reset, your brain and your nervous system has to go in a horizontal position and just get everything flushed out. Besides that, because we are speaking a lot about the lymphatic system and because the glymphatics drain into the lymphatics of your neck, I just want to highlight one more time how important it is to keep good hygiene of the neck lymph nodes and vessels, which you can get to with the massage and with all the neck exercises and stuff. I think just knowing the information that something like this exists can help you open your eyes towards it and see more about the importance of sleep, and I would say all the other good habits that a human can have, but also maybe can motivate you even more to take care of your neck, because that's the first exit entry point, however you want to look at it, from all the waste that comes from your brain and then has to get out of your body through the lymph system. So good sleep, good hydration, take care of your neck, eat good food, be out in the nature, move move a bit, move a lot every day, and try always to learn something new about your body. It will motivate you and help you to be even better towards your body. See you.